Sketches of Life. Friend Zone Support Group, Sketch 1. At the Lincoln Avenue Community Learning Center's classroom, chairs are arranged in a circle. A whiteboard on the wall says Lincoln Avenue Friend Zone Support Group. This group is only men, all looking like nice guy losers in their 20s, 30s, and perhaps early 40s. The key characters are the group leader, Greg, a guy in his 30s looking kind of like a professor. Charlie, a college student. Andy, a corporate drone in his late 20s who's here for the first time. And Nate, a pleasant-looking schlub in his late 30s, early 40s. Greg starts off the meeting. Hello everybody, thanks for coming. I see we have a few new faces today. For our new people, this group is dedicated to breaking the cycle of staying caught in a woman's friend zone. As we normally do, let's pick up where we left off last week. Nate, you were planning on breaking those plans to attend the museum tour with Janet. Did you break those plans?
No, I couldn't. If I did, she would have just asked me a bunch of questions the next time she came in. So we did go to the exhibit on Saturday, and I gotta tell you, those Picassos were amazing.
I'm sure they were. You got a master's in art history. You know plenty about Picasso. But how close did you get to actually canceling with Janet?
It was Friday night, and I was having dinner, thinking to myself, you know what? I want to see the Picasso exhibit. It's been 10 years since I saw a good Picasso exhibit. So what's the big deal if I go with Janet or go with anybody else? I know it's the wrong way to think, but I didn't see the harm in it.
Nathan. Last week, Philip said he was interested in seeing the exhibit and said he would also be happy to join you. You could have seen it with him or with anybody else, and all you had to do was place a phone call and let Janet know.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We all fall down, and we all get back up. Philip interjects. It's okay, I would have done the same thing in his situation. Back to basics, Nathan, Greg says. We're still learning. Now, what's our first principle again?
I must admit, she has never and will never desire to have sex with me.
Is that as true today as it was last week?
I guess so.
Nathan, it's uncomfortably true. She loves to come in and buy coffee from you every day, but she's never shopping for you. You have to admit that. And what is our second principle?
I must turn over control of my behavior to a higher power.
Good. Now, did you seek any divine guidance when you were asking yourself whether to cancel on Janet?
No, I didn't. Like, this is really hard for me.
It's hard for all of us, Greg says. Don't worry. We're not going to spend the entire time trying to beat you up, Nathan, but we do have to help you confront your fears. That's what this group is all about. We appreciate your courage with sharing. Now let's hear from one of our new participants. You, what's your name? Andy says, Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a graphic designer and I'm trapped with this girl, Gina. I'm not sure how it happened, but I met her through an online dating website. Very quickly after meeting her, she expressed no interest in me, but somehow we've been hanging out ever since. I didn't notice the problem right away, but I want to start fresh with her. I think we got off on the wrong foot. Everybody here has your problem, Greg says, but we don't believe in the wrong foot theory here. We're hardliners on new beginnings at the Lincoln Avenue Friend Zone Support Group. The folks over at the Glen Road Adult Education Center think that you can just start fresh within the same relationship. It sounds like a small point, but this is your first critical decision in choosing the right friend zone support group. Everybody is welcome at our meetings, but to get the full benefit of participation, you must acknowledge that there's no such thing as starting fresh with the same woman. Glen Road is a good support group, but we disagree on this point and we don't open the floor for debate. However, we design all of our support strategies around this premise. Can you handle that? I'm not sure, Andy says. I still think I can get her to turn the corner. Every time we talk about dating, she tells me of an endless string of guys that don't measure up. That's why we're hardliners, Andy. You're a bystander in her dating cycle. And she's telling you over and over that even though she gets along with you, she's willing to waste time and money to meet men other than you in hopes of finding a mate. Well, if you put it that way, Andy says. Charlie leans over and speaks to Andy. Greg's into tough love. That's why this group is so critical to your growth as a person, Greg continues. The first principle of the Lincoln Avenue Friend Zone Support Group is everybody at once. I must admit that she has never and will never desire to have sex with me. Everybody says in unison, except for Andy, who of course is looking around because he's new. Great work, Greg says. This is the most difficult principle, that's why it's the first one. Why does it have to be true? Why can't we expect that they will want to have sex with us eventually? Even if she does, what good is it doing you? Greg says. You're putting your life on hold for her? Charlie, you're still a student. Aren't there 50 other women you see on a regular basis that are worth asking out? Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'm friend-zoned by a few of them too, but look, you don't know Sherry. Let me guess. She's special. Of course she is. They're all special. This past weekend, I finally found a porn doppelganger service, Charlie says. I now have a Sherry porn double. What have I told you about that unhealthy fixation? Greg starts, but has stopped. Wait, a porn doppelganger service? Yeah, it's a website, Charlie says. You give them a photo of the girl, and an algorithm finds the match in their ever-growing database of porn actresses. The matches are scary. For a minute, I thought Sherry had a secret career in porno. Okay, what is the name of that website? Greg asks. Girlfriendsoup.com. Greg writes the name down. Okay, where were we? We're going on to the fourth principle. You know what? Good talk. Good talk for the week. Like I said, just don't go talking to those girls. They're bad news for you. Live your life like they don't exist and they'll eventually go away. Just like having nightmares as a kid. We're going to break a little early this week. Andy, welcome to the group. Don't ever call or email her again, and don't respond to any of her calls or emails, and she'll eventually go away. Move on. Nate, don't give Janet any more free coffees when she comes in. Charlie, tell Sherry that you love her porno twin, and she'll never speak to you again. I guarantee you she'll smack you in the face and walk out and never look back. Just kidding. Not really, actually. Okay, same time next week. Greg then bolts for the door. Everybody else looks around at each other for a second before getting up to leave, wondering what the hell just happened. What was that about? Andy asks. Charlie responds. Greg's the worst offender of the group. He talks the talk, but he's been zoned by the same woman for 15 years and has never come close to leaving her. His favorite rule is never have a sexual fantasy about the woman who has zoned me. But I'm pretty sure that he breaks it as much as everybody else. We've been trying to figure out who this girl is for a while. The disappointed group begins to disperse and head for the exit. Scene. Recorded May 19th, 2013.